Hey everyone, Shabba Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K16 Universe Mode. And I tell you what, it's not going to be long before we have to change the intro, is it? We're only a few weeks away now. I think it's October the 11th, is it? When we get WWE 2K17. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm sure you guys are as well. If you're still watching these videos, then thank you very much. I know this game is now very, very old, and I do appreciate all of your ongoing support. Especially, we've had quite an influx of new subscribers recently as well. So welcome if you are new. And of course, thanks for your continued support if you have been here for a long time. Anyway, enough of me blabbing on. This, of course, is our next episode of NXT. And we are now 4 episodes away from what is going to be our finale pay-per-view of NXT. I know this is quite a short universe mode, but it has to be really for the release of 2K17. We don't really want to overlap. We want to plow through as much 2K17 as we can, and it comes out. So, yeah, our next pay-per-view and our final pay-per-view is going to be one that's a little bit different. One that WWE have not done themselves, but one I found on the community creations, which I love the idea of. And it is going to be NXT TakeOver Philly. Now, this is going to be an Extreme Rules style pay-per-view, of course. Going back to Philadelphia, it's going to be very ECW based. So, we're going to have some pretty interesting matches. I'm tempted to bring back maybe 1 or 2 ECW legends to help put over some of the NXT talent. But enough of trying to build up to that, of course. Let's have a look and see what we've got set for you tonight. We are going to start things off with Hideo Itami taking on the former NXT champion Samoa Joe. Next we've got Drew Gulak taking on Ariya Daivari. Now I did say on NXT TakeOver Brooklyn that I was going to sort of reveal a few things that happened in the NXT tapings. So if you don't want to find out any spoilers for the future tapings, then please look away now, basically. In the tapings, Sanity was revealed, and it is a stable, and we are going to see that stable here this evening, as Alexander Wolfe and Sawyer Fulton team up with Eric Young at ringside to take on the team of Lucas Bull and PJ Tovey. Now, we've seen Lucas Bull and PJ Tovey in the past getting hammered, basically, by Braun Strowman on Raw, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do here as a tag team down in NXT. Then we will see Eric Young in a singles match against Austin Aries. Both former TNA talents there. And then our main event this evening is going to be our brand new NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Mr. Glorious himself, Bobby Roode. So I think we're going to watch 4 of the matches. I'm tempted to watch Gulak versus Daivari, but I think we've already seen that recently anyway. So we are going to skip that one. And it was a win for Ariya Daivari. So that leaves us with 4 matches left, and we are going to watch all 4. So let's start things off with our opening match of the evening. And here is that opening match. Of course, it is going to be Hideo Itami taking on the former NXT champion Samoa Joe. And here we go. Washington, D.C. We've got randomized locations here on NXT. Maybe when we get to 2K17, we'll just stick to Full Sail University unless we're going for a pay-per-view, maybe. We can cross that bridge when we come to it, I suppose. I've got plans for the Universe mode in 2K17. I really want to take it up a level. I want to try and make it look and feel a lot more like an actual show of NXT or an actual show of Raw or an actual show of SmackDown rather than the way that we're doing it now. So I've got some ideas and I'm going to build up to it all. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually getting a fresh start on 2K17 now. We really have bled 2K16 dry now, haven't we? With the amount of episodes we put up. Amount of matches. I was looking at it earlier thinking that we must have got through like over 1,000 matches on 2K16 now. And I think one of our very first matches was this man. I think this was our first match. This man right here, Hideo Itami versus Daniel Bryan. That was the very first match I did on 2K16. And I've already got our first match planned for 2K17, and it will be uploaded. And I am going to upload it with without seeing anything else myself. So this has been my first time into the Universe mode. My first time into 2K17. And it's going to be AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That is our first match that I will be uploading on 2K17. And I'll also be coming to you in a few weeks' time as well, asking for your suggestions for random matches as well. And here is the former NXT champion, Samoa Joe. Lost that belt at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn last weekend. He'll be hoping to get himself another opportunity at that belt as well. But at the moment, he's got Hideo Itami in his way. And both these guys would love to get involved in that NXT Championship picture as well. But at the moment, I've got ideas of putting them together for a little bit of time. See how they go on. Now with Hideo Itami making his return, I think Hideo in real life is going after Austin Aries by the looks of it. So that's going to be a pretty nice match actually built up for NXT TakeOver Toronto, I think it is they're doing next, isn't it? So it'd be interesting to see just how that pans out. But I like this idea as well. I think these two guys might have actually collided over in Ring of Honor. You don't have to let me know on that one. I know Kenta made quite a few appearances for Ring of Honor. Faced off against several people. So you'd have to let me know in the comment section below if you know if these two have ever wrestled in the past. I'm sure they would have crossed paths at some point. And I think that's what TNA needs to do. Sorry to go off on a tangent so early in the episode, but looking at TNA and some of the other companies around, just looking at Ring of Honor as well. Ring of Honor do really well because they have this working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it allows Ring of Honor guys to go over there and work in Japan. But it also allows some of the New Japan guys to come over and work in Ring of Honor, which is a real boost to their roster. And TNA used to do stuff like that. They used to work with other companies. I think they worked with New Japan for a little bit. They had a few matches at some of the Wrestle Kingdoms, and then they worked with AAA for a little bit, and then they went for Wrestle 1 with the Great Muta. And they just seem to have cut ties with everyone and tried to go on their own. And the thing is, it worked so well for Ring of Honor. I think Ring of Honor over the last few years has really stepped up another couple of levels, and I think it's a bit of a shame how the TV deal worked with them with Destination America. I think if Ring of Honor can get some TV time somewhere else, they might have a much better time of it. But I only bring that up because I've heard rumours recently of TNA being up for sale, and one of the very strong rumours is that Ring of Honor made an offer to purchase TNA, mainly to try and get their TV slots. And I'm sure there'll be a few of the talent they'll be interested in as well. And I think WWE is sniffing around because they're interested in buying the library. But I think if WWE do try and purchase TNA, then they'll probably just liquidate the entire company, take the talent they want, which would be good for them because they could do a bit of extra talent on SmackDown. I can't imagine they'll take that many. But then they'll get all the library, and they can basically bolster up their network. Samoa Joe now, that Saito suplex, taking Hideo Itami down. And Joe, you must think he's going to be in a very aggressive state because he knows that he wants to get back in that championship picture, and he knows that Hideo Itami is just one man that is in his way. Big kick into the gut of Hideo. Now Samoa Joe bringing him back up to his feet. Into the corner he goes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the extra things that are going to be in the 2K17 Universe mode as well. Rumour has it, well not rumour, it's been announced, hasn't it, that they are going to have a promo engine inbuilt into the Universe mode. So that'd be interesting to try and figure out exactly what they're going to have planned there. I'd love them to bring back sort of like the storyline editor as well, just because I want to be able to create my own cutscenes, because if I want to try and make my own show as such, and make it look a lot more organic like a real show, then it'd be great to be able to put together the cutscenes that we want to have as part of that show, if that makes sense. I know in 2K15 I experimented a little bit with using backstage brawls as somebody attacking somebody else backstage. So it'd be interesting to see what we can do on 2K17. We still don't have a lot of information about the Universe mode as of yet. So it'd be interesting to see when we do get the information exactly what is going to be in there, what can we use, and as soon as I know how it all works and everything like that, then we can start to plan it out. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing. Joe caught Hideo. Hideo was going for some sort of head scissors or hurricanrana. Joe caught him into the sit-out powerbomb, now bringing Hideo Itami back up to his feet, spinning him round and locking in the coquina clutch. He's not quite got it fully on there. He's got it straight across the face rather than underneath the chin, across the neck, which I think is going to help Hideo out here, as he is going to... Or is he? Hideo locked in the submission hold for a very long time, and Joe finally does release it. Thinks he may have sucked the life out of Hideo, rolls him over. He's a dead weight, so possibly 1, 2, and it's only enough for a 2 count. Hideo kicks out. Hideo now catching Joe with that spinning kick to the gut. And Joe with the jab to the face of Hideo. Sends him into the corner. And this could be a dangerous place to be for Hideo Itami. And this is why Joe takes him up. Hooks the shoulders. And there is the muscle buster. Hideo Itami laid out. He looks completely out. Joe needs to make the pin. Why is Joe taking so long? Joe, pin him. Is Samoa Joe trying to... Why is he taking so long? He's been a little bit... It's enough anyway, isn't it? I was going to say Joe may have lived to rue that decision of not pinning Hideo Itami quickly enough, but evidently the Coquina clutch and the muscle buster combination was enough to finish poor old Hideo Itami off here. And Joe will be very, very happy with that victory. I'm thinking as well in 2K17 of cutting the replays down, because obviously a lot of these replays are not very relevant to the match. So I'm thinking of maybe just cutting out the ones that don't make much sense. Like, obviously in this match we'd keep the Coquina clutch in, because that would be a decent replay. And then of course we would also keep in the muscle buster. Everything else we probably would cut out, just to try and make everything flow a lot smoother. But yeah, I've got a lot of ideas for 2K17. What it may mean is it may mean we upload less videos of the Universe mode. But I've realised over the last few years that I've really gone for quantity over quality. And I want to try and fix that. I want to try and make sure that every video I upload is of a high enough quality. And Samoa Joe, great victory for him. That's going to help him get back up in the championship rankings. He wants to try and become that #1 contender once again for Shinsuke Nakamura's championship. However, there's a lot of big names here now on NXT that'll be battling him for that place. And here is our next match of the evening. It is going to be the debuting Sanity, Alexander Wolfe and Sawyer Fulton, accompanied by Eric Young, taking on the team of Lucas Bull and PJ Tovey. And here we go. And we are going to see the debut now then of Sanity. And the game has buggered us up again, hasn't it? I hate the way it keeps changing everything around. I have set this so Eric Young is supposed to be the front. But obviously 2K have got different ideas for what they want to do. Either way, it's interesting to consider we were using Sawyer Fulton as a jobber only a few weeks ago. And now all of a sudden he's part of a dominant stable within NXT. So that's pretty cool to see. I quite like it. The only thing that I probably would have changed is I probably would have held back on Sanity. I would have held back. I've just got a feeling that it would have been better to hold off on Sawyer Fulton and wait for Tommy End. Because Alexander Wolfe, formerly known as Axel Titscher, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but he's a former WXW German wrestler. Tommy End works a lot in WXW as well, so the two guys know each other quite well, and they could have gone for like a European tag team idea. But apart from that, I don't know, I've not seen them yet. It could work really well. It could work really well on TV as soon as it is screened. I think it was taped a couple of weeks back, so I think it's due to be televised in about another 2 or 3 weeks, the debut of Sanity. And it'd be interesting to see. It'd be very interesting to see exactly what they do have planned for them. If we had a little bit more time in this universe mode, I was thinking of doing some sort of NXT takeover Sanity, something like that, and having these guys, because at the moment you've got, if you think about Sanity as a group, because we're missing one person from those three, of course, another member of the group is Nikki Storm, or Nicola Glencross. I'm not quite sure if they've changed her name back to Nikki Storm now, but she's part of this stable as well. So the thought that quite a few people have had is this could be the first stable in NXT to fully dominate. And that would be Eric Young holding the NXT Championship. That would be Alexander Wolfe and Sawyer Fulton holding the Tag Team Championships. And it would also be Nikki Storm, or Nicola Glencross, whatever they're going to call her these days, holding the NXT Women's Championship. That's a possibility of something they could go for. So we are going to start things off with Alexander Wolfe and Lucas Bull in the ring. And I can't imagine this match is going to take too long. We've seen the sort of beating that both Lucas Bull and PJ Tovey took against Braun Strowman on Raw only a few weeks back. And now they're going to get another interesting situation here against the debuting Sanity. And I quite like this Alexander Wolfe core, I must admit. See, the thing is with the roster split, as it's worked really, really well with 2K17, because a lot of the people that have been promoted up from NXT onto the main roster are all on the game. But the problem we have now is that a lot of people that have replaced the guys from NXT in the NXT roster are now going to have to be created. So Alexander Wolfe, Sawyer Fulton, Eric Young, Nikki Storm, the whole of Sanity is going to need creating. Bobby Roode, we're going to have to get a creator wrestler. Austin Aries has not yet been announced whether he's going to be DLC or whether we're going to have to get him as a created wrestler as well. No Way Jose and Andrade Cien Almas. There's going to be quite a few. TM61, The Authors of Pain, Liv Morgan, well, basically the whole women's division apart from Asuka now. So there's going to be a lot of created wrestlers still needed in 2K17, which I think means we probably won't do NXT first in our Universe mode, because, as I've said before, I want to try and focus on one roster at a time. So we'll probably do maybe Raw, and we'll do maybe 3 or 4 months worth of the Universe mode, but of course that won't take us 3 or 4 months to do it. It'll be a case of uploading maybe 2 or 3 episodes a week as normal, but we'll all be the same brand. Because I think that'd be a lot better. That'd be a lot better to try and keep track of exactly what we're doing, because when I've tried to do too much at once, that's when it sort of got confusing for me. And I've got confused in this universe. We're only doing 3 brands. Think how bad it was when we were doing 6 brands. That completely killed me, that did. But it's still interesting. Tag here. Now we're going to see Sawyer Fulton. For the first time, Sawyer Fulton might actually do well. He's been demolished quite a lot in this universe mode so far. He only lost to Shinsuke Nakamura a few weeks ago by the Coquina Clutch. But you wonder what Eric Young has done to get these guys in a state of mind that will turn things round for this universe mode as well. Because Eric Young he's a crazy man, don't get me wrong, he's a crazy man. But he's also quite a bit of an evil genius as such. He'll be able to brainwash these sort of people. He could be the Bray Wyatt of this stable. I see a lot of people have likened it to the Decay, and I think that's a little bit unfair. I really do, because the thing is, there's loads of stables before the Decay that were roughly the same sort of thing. So you can't just say just because a stable has quite a dark, crazy outlook on things, it's copying the Decay, because it's not. There's plenty of different gimmicks you can go for, and just because it's not even that similar, that's the thing. Decay is really, really out there, whereas I think these guys are not going to be quite as crazy as such. They're going to be more of just a brute force, I think. Because both Alexander Wolfe and Sawyer Fulton are big, big guys. And it'd be good for Sawyer Fulton to finally get a little bit of time on NXT without just being completely hammered, basically. Because that's essentially what he's been used for on NXT as well. That's why we brought him in our universe mode and used him as a jobber, because that's how they do it in real life. So it'd be interesting to see exactly what they're going to do with him. Fulton now just raking his foot across the face of PJ Tovey. Now storms him straight to the corner. And Fulton just holding Tovey's face back as Alexander Wolfe gets the boot into the gut. And Tovey completely focused on Sawyer Fulton there. Not a very good idea as Alexander Wolfe creeps up behind him and catches him with that high Saito suplex now into the pin. 1, 2, it's only a 2 count. Another thing as well, you'd have to question the choice of footwear by PJ Tovey. He seems to be wearing sort of tan shoes. It's not exactly the best wrestling attire, is it? It looks like they just dragged him off the street, but there you go. Alexander Wolfe now, oh, huge release German suplex. Tovey folded in half. Wolfe bringing him back up to his feet now. And a T-bone as well. Into the pin. Now that could and should probably be all. And Lucas Bull comes in and makes a save. Sawyer Fulton wasn't quite quick enough to get across and block Lucas Bull off. And Lucas Bull now catching Fulton with the drop toe hold. And I think Fulton's neck and head actually caught that bottom rope. We didn't quite see it. It was just out of angle. But Alexander Wolfe now lining up PJ Tovey. And I'm pretty sure PJ Tovey is going to be unhappy with Lucas Bull breaking up that pin. Wolfe, big German suplex. Rolls Tovey over for the pin once again. 1, 2, and 3. And Sanity do pick up a victory on their debut here in NXT. Very impressive as well. Both guys showed brute force and just domination of this match. Unfortunately for PJ Tovey, I think he took 90% of the hits here. I think Lucas Bull really ducked out and hid in this match, which is, I suppose, is quite good for him. But PJ Tovey is probably going to be in a bit of a state after this one. Here's that big release German suplex earlier on, and that was followed up as well by the T-bone. You know what? I don't think that's a T-bone suplex, but I've got confused with my suplexes all of a sudden. People out there, what was that suplex? Was that a T-bone or was that an exploder? It could have been an exploder. And here we see Alexander Wolfe lining PJ Tovey up once again and going again for another big German suplex. It's amazing of recent, especially when the Cruiserweight Classic came around, how many people are using German suplexes now as either a signature or a finishing maneuver. It really has had a rebirth, and that's the one thing that surprised me about the Cruiserweight Classic as well. Sorry to go completely off on a tangent now, but the Cruiserweight Classic, one thing that really surprised me was just how many guys utilised submissions as their finishing manoeuvres, and how many matches actually finished by submission victory. That was a bit of a surprise for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad. I think it adds a completely different dimension to the Cruiserweight division. I'm really happy about that. But anyway, enough of me blabbing on. A great win for Sanity on their debut here in NXT. And here is our third match of the evening. Eric Young stays out here on his own as he takes on Austin Aries. And here we go. Making his entrance here, and it is going to be Eric Young. Now, the rumours have been flying around for a while that Eric Young was going to make his second debut in NXT. Of course, he did wrestle against Samoa Joe quite a few weeks back, and the rumours were knocking around about the Takeover Brooklyn time that he had signed a full-time contract for NXT, and evidently that was proven correct by him being the leader. I'm going to assume he's the leader of Sanity. No one's actually officially said he's the leader, but you think he's the male singles star, potentially going for the upper championship in NXT, whereas Wolfe and Sawyer Fulton did a very good job in the tag team division earlier on, and of course we'll see some more of Nikki Glencross coming up, or Nikki Storm. So yeah, the reason I've changed that is because she was called Nikki Storm when she was in ICW, but when she's worked in NXT so far, and I think she was only a one televised match so far, she was called Nicola Glencross. But I noticed that during the tapings that she was called Nikki Storm in the tapings review. However, she wasn't. I don't know what to do. I think changing her back to Nikki Storm would probably suit the gimmick a bit better. Nicola Glencross is not a very aggressive name. I keep forgetting to change his entrance. Eventually, I will change Austin Aries' entrance. I promise you that. I promise you that. But today is not that day, as Austin Aries continues on with his Colin Cassidy entrance. No, let's just skip it. Why not? I don't want to watch Austin Aries do SAWFT again. So Eric Young getting his singles debut here now on NXT to take on Austin Aries. We've already seen the debut of Sanity in the tag match previous. Eric Young was at ringside, but they didn't really get involved, which is a little bit of a surprise. I thought he might distract the team of Lucas Bull and PJ Tovey. However, I don't think he really needed to, in fairness. I think PJ Tovey and Lucas Bull were doomed from the beginning, in all fairness. Hip toss there by EY, who now continues to stomp on the grounded Austin Aries. And I quite like this this EY. Over the last few years, since he's developed this sort of crazy outlook on things, I think it was when he was he friends with Bobby Roode, then all of a sudden just turned on him and became this super sort of heel. And I think it was one of the best things he's done for his career, because since he did that, that was when he really sort of took off. He was the TNA champion on a couple of occasions, I think. He was the King of the Mountain champion as well before losing that to Bram before he left TNA. And I wonder how long it'll be for James Storm now. Then I think it's going to be a while for James Storm, because from what I understand, even though he's been on his Twitter saying he's a free agent now, it's all storyline with TNA. I believe he's actually contracted until the middle of 2017, and I bet James Storm must be absolutely livid, because he decided against going to NXT and staying with TNA. As soon as he did that, his tag team partner Bobby Roode disappeared off to NXT. Now Eric Young's jumped ship as well. We've already seen Austin Aries go. We've already seen Samoa Joe go. AJ Styles is already there. So James Storm must be sat there now thinking, why didn't I just stay there when I had the chance? We could be having right now beer money in NXT. We could also be having the Dirty Heels. And I don't think it'd be too long. If we had longer on in this universe mode, the Dirty Heels would have made a return, I promise you that. Of course, if you don't know, the Dirty Heels were over in TNA, and it was Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. And EY there with the Death Valley Driver, a move that nobody's allowed to use in the WWE because it is essentially John Cena's finisher, and it was no one's allowed to use it. So I don't know what it is recording this episode, but I've completely lost my voice, and my throat's gone really sore in this episode as well. I don't know if I'm not coming down with something. EY is doing fantastically well here over Austin Aries, dominating the most of the match. Now catches Aries, takes him up into a big powerbomb. And now EY has been looking to try and go up top a couple of times now. He's finally going to get the opportunity. What has he got planned? We don't normally see EY come from the top too often. He does hit him with that big elbow drop. Now into the pin. Is it going to be enough? 1, 2. It's not. It's only for a 2 count. EY can't believe it. Hands on head. But he needs to continue the assault. He doesn't want Austin Aries to come back into the match just like that. Snapmare into a drop kick to the seated EY. And a big kick across the chest as well. Aries now rolling EY over. And dropping a Jack Evans style leg drop. Good old Jack Evans. Oh, look at that. Oh, what a turnaround. Aries went for the rolling elbow. And EY caught him straight into that power driver. Wow, such well scouted there by EY. And it's enough for the 3 count. What a great end to the match that was. Austin Aries was just about to connect with that rolling elbow. And EY caught him and locked him in to the power driver. And you see that Austin Aries is not impressed. One of the main reasons for that is that the power driver is frowned upon within the wrestling community because of how dangerous it is. People don't like people using the power driver, and I think that's probably what has got Austin Aries' back up here. And here is our main event this evening. It's a special one. It is going to be your NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura facing off against the glorious Bobby Roode. And here we go with our main event of the evening. And what a fantastic match this is as well. The match that everybody wants to see. The glorious Bobby Roode taking on the brand new NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura. There he is with the gold around his waist, and doesn't he look good for it? Of course, winning that belt away from Samoa Joe just last weekend. At NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And of course we are building up to NXT TakeOver Philly, as I announced at the beginning of the video. Why has he got this? You know what, when 2K17 comes around, I'm going to have a lot of work to do, aren't I? I need to sort all these things out at the beginning. Because Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance is correct. It must be because he's got a championship on. His entrance is completely reverted to something completely different. I shall fix both of these things after the episode, I promise you that. We'll have no more dodgy Shinsuke entrances. I'm going to write down my pad right now. Shinsuke and Aries. Right. So he's going to be facing off against the glorious Bobby Roode. I wish they'd let us use music on this game, I really do. Basically, if I do have the entrance music in the game, then it will flag up as a copyright, so I cannot actually use any music on the game. That's why it's all silent. The menus where everything is silent as well when I do my recordings, which it takes away a little bit of the fun of it, I suppose. But at the same time, it does make a lot of difference, does it, I suppose. I suppose there is things I possibly could do. I could use music from YouTube. I might do that for 2K17 maybe. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. Anyway, Bobby Roode makes his way to the ring. And a win here for Bobby Roode would really just thrust him straight into that championship picture. There's a lot of people there that really want to be involved in that championship picture. And Bobby Roode can eclipse them all with a win here. Of course, Samoa Joe's desperate to get back in there for a rematch. Guys like Hideo Itami as well, who got defeated by Samoa Joe earlier, so that sort of defeats his claim a little bit. We've got both the guys from the last match as well, both EY and Austin Aries. But of course now it is Bobby Roode who has the opportunity to prove that he is the man that should be in that picture right now. And straight away just sending Nakamura to the outside. And Bobby Roode makes his way around to join Nakamura, clubbing blow in the back. And Roode was starting quick, but Nakamura seems to turn it around with a few strikes and a boot to the gut. Another big right hand and a big left hand, another boot to the gut. All of a sudden the strikes are Nakamura taking Bobby Roode down. The referee is counting, but these two guys are just getting further and further away from the ring. Nakamura taking Roode up into a suplex. You see the way that Nakamura jumped up halfway through and just created that extra power behind the suplex. And Bobby Roode's spine must be in some pieces after landing hard on that steel entryway. Roode, though, gets the opportunity again. Oh, great running knee strike right to the face of Shinsuke. Now Roode dragging Shinsuke into the middle of the ring. There's the pin. One. No, not even a 1 count. Wow. Shinsuke showing off there a little bit. Not even a 1 count. But Roode still continues the assault. Some knees to the back. Don't know if Roode is trying to set Shinsuke up for potential submission, maybe. We know he likes to use the crossface. But that's more of a shoulder submission and a neck. It doesn't really affect the back too much. Maybe he's got something else in mind. Maybe a Boston Crab or something simple like that. Nakamura, though, big overhand punch there on Roode. Now brings Roode up against the ropes. And I'm hoping they do fix these submissions over in 2K17. Because at the moment the submissions have really affected us over the last year or so. And it has meant that people that do use submissions as their finishers very rarely amount to anything, because the submission holds just don't seem to want to finish a match. I think so far now we've seen 3 submission victories. One was Zack Sabre Jr. winning the Ring of Honor Television Championship very early on the Universe mode. Another one was Andre the Giant with a bear hug. He in the Retro Championship tournament. And of course the other one was quite recent in this Universe mode, where Samoa Joe made Sawyer Fulton tap out to the Kikina clutch. So I'm hoping the submission system is very much improved in 2K17. I know it has been completely changed. So that might give us an indication that it is improved. And as long as it works for the AI as well. Of course 2K15, it was too easy to win by submission. People used to win by headlocks. 2K16, it doesn't seem to work at all. 2K17, if they can find something in the middle, that'd be fantastic. I want to see people submit to finishing submissioners. Submissioners? Finishing submissions, but not to simple ones, unless their body part has been greatly weakened. If you've done a lot of damage to the lower back and you lock in a Boston Crab, then I've got no problems with you getting the victory out of that. Shinsuke now pulling Bobby Roode into the middle of the ring, takes him up and drops him in that front slam. And a big kick to the back of Bobby Roode. And now it's Shinsuke working the back, bringing Roode back up to his feet. Spins him round. German suplex. And I was just saying about the real resurgence of German suplexes recently, especially with the Cruiserweight Classic as well. Guys like Akira Tozawa, that's an incredible German suplex that Tozawa's got, though. It comes out of nowhere. Then he's got the deadlift German as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Akira Tozawa on Raw at some point. Of course, I have just watched Raw this morning. I am off work at the moment, which is great. But I watched Raw this morning, and it was the first match of the Cruiserweights. Fatal 4-Way, Cedric Alexander, Brian Kendrick, Gran Metalik, And the other guy, Rich Swann. How did I forget Rich Swann? Pinned now by Bobby Roode from that spinebuster. Oh, almost a 3 count. It was a great match. It really was. They gave it a lot of time as well, so I was really happy about that. The fans got into it. They chanted, "This is awesome." But I think the Cruiserweight division is going to build week on week. As soon as some more of the casual fans start to build allegiances to some of these Cruiserweights, I think it's going to be great. Of course, it was won by Brian Kendrick, and now Brian Kendrick will be facing TJ Perkins this Sunday at Clash of Champions. I sort of expected Brian Kendrick to win it as well, because I don't think they wanted to really have anyone lose a singles match at a major pay-per-view. Brian Kendrick has got a history. He's already been built up anyway. Great tope suicida by Shinsuke Nakamura, taking Bobby Roode down. Not very often we see Shinsuke dive, but it was effective nonetheless. The champion Shinsuke just looks to take it up an extra level now. Big boot to the side of the head of Bobby Roode. Now Shinsuke slides back into the ring. Rolls Bobby Roode over. I thought he might be going for a pin there, but decides against it. Now going in for a pin. Oh, Shinsuke's using the ropes for leverage. Shinsuke stretching the rules there a little bit. That's completely out of character, that by Shinsuke. I'm not quite sure what he had in mind there. The thing is, if he'd pinned him straight away, he might have actually got the win as well. That extra few seconds of building it up. Big knee to the stomach of Bobby Roode, and then a big knee to the face as well. I'm just a little bit shocked by Shinsuke's actions there. He's starting to tween a little bit here. Oh, Shinsuke, this is the move. He won the NXT Championship with the Regalplex, middle of the ring. Is it going to be enough to finish this match off as well? Oh, it's only enough for the 2 count. Bobby Roode escapes. Shinsuke now dragon screw on Bobby Roode. And what can he do to follow up that Regalplex? That was so close. It's literally on the verge of a 3 count. I don't think you could get much closer. Roode now taking Shinsuke up. Roode bomb. Roode bomb. This could be a big result here for Bobby Roode. 1, 2. Oh my God! Again. Again, it's just so close to the 3 count, but not quite enough. Wow. Incredible action here. Full Sail University in our main event of NXT. And Roode now locking in the crossface. Shinsuke is trying to get to the ropes, but Roode just seems to be able to push away using his other foot, but Shinsuke rolls free. Roode again now taking Shinsuke into that DDT. And now Roode taunting. Trying to potentially signal for the end. A couple of big running shoulder blocks. Ducks underneath the clothesline. And drops Shinsuke with that front slam. Again, bringing him back up to his feet. And another big spine buster. Rolling Shinsuke up for the pin as well. Using his entire body weight for leverage. Oh, and again, it was just so close. Bobby Roode must be thinking to himself now, what do I need to do to finish this man off? Shinsuke playing possum there now, tripping Bobby Roode over. Brings him back up to his feet, and this has been an incredible matchup. Every now and again we get a match in the universe mode that really steps it up a level. And this is one of them. Shinsuke there, I thought he might have been lining Bobby Roode up for a potential Kinshasa. Changed his mind, and a big boot to the gut of Bobby Roode instead. Bringing Roode back up to his feet. Spins him round. Again looking for that Regalplex. Hooks it in. Drops him on the back of his head. And that is... oh my word. Oh my word. How is this match still going? Backstabber. Backstabber by Shinsuke. Oh, and now lining it up. Now just lining it up. Kinshasa. And there we go. What a match. Oh my word. And surely this time that's got to be all. And it is. It's taken 2 Regalplexes and a Kinshasa to finish off the glorious Bobby Roode. And that match has reduced me to a quivering wreck right now. My voice, my throat is killing me after this episode. It really has been incredible. I'm so happy with how this one has panned out. And I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed it as well. This main event has just been another level spine bust. And you see Shinsuke's head actually catching the bottom rope. Referee should not have counted that. You can see from this angle that Shinsuke's hand is underneath the bottom rope. But both guys had various big opportunities. It's where Shinsuke sort of tweened a little bit here. I'm a little bit surprised by his actions. Utilising the middle rope to his advantage there. Referee, don't know how he can't see it from that angle. But Roode did kick out at the 2 count. And you see this running knee strike to the face of Bobby Roode. And this was the first of the regal plexus. It was. And dropping him, you see just dropping him on the back of his head. It's such a high angled suplex, that one. Hooking the leg as well. And here you see Shinsuke Nakamura just lining him up. Roode drops to a knee. And gets caught with that strong style knee strike. The Kinshasa, the Bomai, whatever you want to call it these days. It was enough to finish Bobby Roode off. But I tell you one thing, Bobby Roode is putting an incredible performance here against the NXT champion. And I think he's deserving of another opportunity. I don't know about you guys. It's a great win here for the NXT champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, as well. Well, I think that's going to be all for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit that like button. And of course, please hit that like button to try and help me get my voice back, because it's killing me at the moment. And of course, if you have enjoyed it and you're not already, then please do hit that subscribe button as well for a lot more of the WWE 2K16 Universe Mode, and soon the WWE 2K17 Universe Mode as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in a couple of days' time for our next episode of SmackDown.